His opponent's going to be megD, of course. He won against him previously. It was a game 5, which means that at the very least, this set is going to be a close one. But I think this one can go any which way. Either of them have it.
To answer your question about when it was in bracket, it was winners round 1 of top 32 when megD and Flower faced off, and it went all the way to game 5. So before games would be appearing on the mainstream.
I see. Okay, so nobody got to see what happened, actually, unless you were spectating that lobby. So, okay, all right. Let's see what happens. Right now, megD just looking for the safe way to be able to land, finally able to catch that sail as Flower was too close to him. Flower dashing away, finding a sidelight.
And so we're over here on Demon Island, and we're going to be having like 2 vertically KOing weapons. Like obviously there are signatures, but in terms of the like light and heavy attacks that are not signatures, you have recovery for gauntlets, and you also have like recovery for bow. Although you also have like neutral air sometimes, and then if they're really desperate, neutral light. But all of that is either straight vertical if we're talking about Nair at a 45-degree angle, which is the furthest distance you can find to a blast zone with the recovery or the end light. So this is going to be, I think this map kind of nullifies all of those KO options for them, and it'll be better to rely on other ones, especially if we're talking about like Flower having hammer.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, you saw that sidelight recovery. It did not KO, so really good point. Yeah, Demon Island's going to make it a little bit more difficult to KO off the top. Sidelight sail is going to be a little bit more important. Flower able to get the stomp sail. megD just able to land up and above the projectiles of the D-Sig. Flower dashing in, dashing out. You already know what he's hunting for. He wants that D-Light. Oh, that's going to be
landing Sair. It got punished by megD. He was ready for it. He overspaced it, and he was ready to get the punish in time as well. Starting things off with a neutral light, sending Flower over to the wall. Unfortunately, a weapon spawn didn't come down in time that megD could deny that.
Oh, Flower being so patient. He lands with the sail. He's able to switch up the situation. He goes out there for the D-Sig, still able to cover with the sail, but it just put megD back onto the stage because of how little knockback that had.
Oh, just barely getting away from those wisps. Flower is not able to find either a KO move on its own or the startup into the KO move whatsoever. Ooh. And now Flower's orange.
Okay, megD committing for the nice. Is he going to get punished for it? The answer is yes, he will. Flower getting in there with an end light. But I like the punish though. Yeah, nicely done.
Yeah, he made sure to go with the end light there so that he could get the 2 moves, the 2 like little kicks, the one after the other, in case like megD wanted to spot dodge like he did, and then you can last through that spot dodge.
With how much Flower is dashing on the ground, I feel like sidelight is going to be a very important tool for megD in this matchup right now. Especially like dash and sidelight should be able to cover all those dashes from Flower. Flower is like hunting and threatening with like a sidelight and like a D-light potentially, but I'm anticipating that happening any moment.
Flower's done a great job of bringing it back here. He's still just a little bit behind. I'm just waiting for the stray hit from megD to come out. That could set up. He's going back over to the orb. Where's the
weapon toss?
The landing punish? Where is it? I'm waiting for it from megD here. There
That's
it is.
It. He found it. He got it. He backed away. Perfect possible spacing. Flower thinking that he was going to be safe, but megD, yeah, I mean, his spacing on that was immaculate, wasn't it?
He's done it like now twice against like those landing side airs that Flower's been hunting for a few different times. So that just isn't something that Flower can rely on. Like megD absolutely knows how to deal with that. Even like the higher speed of Yumiko, so you can like zip around, you can drift a little bit further than you would think. Like megD's able to call all of that out and know exactly what the maximum effective range is.
Oh, Flower looking for the end sig. They're not going to be able to connect it. That's
tough.
Oh no. You can't be dropping those.
It really stinks whenever you like get in your own way and you do what in a vacuum is like an intelligent move of like throwing your weapon toss up, but then you find the opportunity while it's still in the air to get the true KO combo and you're like, well, I gotta go for it. Uh-oh, and then you're not able to find it. Unarmed KO off the top with the recovery. We'll see if Flower can bring this back. I believe the lead is smaller here than it was on the previous stock whenever that was taken. Just going with a raw neutral signature to catch megD in the air. Yep.
Those last stocks are usually where we see the greatest concentration of those signatures. Flower using up the recovery. megD doesn't really go out there through the edge guards. He plays it safe. Sidelight sail. He's a lot more confident in his neutral. He doesn't want to overcommit, especially not against Hammer. He just jumps out there. He waits. He baits. The jump just forced Flower to do something. He jumped after Flower. He saw the dodge, and he was like, okay, great. I can go ahead and follow that just fine now. So very nicely done. Yeah, megD caught the landings. His edge guard guarding slash like ledge trapping was very safe. He didn't make any more commitments than he needed to. The one time that he did, he got punished for it by an end light from Flower. We haven't actually seen Flower's D-Sig on either of the weapons I feel like have any impact on this game whatsoever. None of them felt like they could control megD's movement.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. One thing I'm noticing about megD as well is like I feel like I'm just kind of watching Rage for the most part. I don't know how often megD has played Priya, or sorry, not Priya. What is this legend's name? I'm already forgetting.
Petra.
Petra. Similar names, right? Because he hasn't reported his characters. Shame on you, megD. Even though you're my boy. But yeah, so like I feel like a lot of the time I'm kind of just watching Radish, which like isn't it's not. I'm watching Radish in parentheses derogatory. Like obviously Radish is very good. I just feel like I'm seeing so much orb and it's just really Radish coded.
I feel like that as well. Yeah, he's very patient, he's very reserved, and then, you know, we just don't see, I guess, the same amount of signatures that Radish does, but granted, these are Petra signatures. They function very, very differently than good grafting. So we'll see megD going out there, just for the safe recovery back on, making the most out of that distance, knowing that Flower can't possibly challenge that. Flower looking through the neutral, D-Light Sim, putting megD off stage. The D-Sig, again, I'm telling you, megD is not far away enough for them to actually have much relevance in controlling the movement. There's a very subtle middle ground. Okay, dash jumping down it, not gonna be enough. Tries to go for another one. The jump gets called out.
Oh, the neutral there to contest. Still not enough to KO. That should do it. No? High defense coming through from Petra. Oh, he didn't touch.
He wasn't able to
so
touch.
Close.
Yeah, he was just a little bit too far. I like the idea though. I like the commitment anyways, but okay, let's see how megD is going to be able to close this. So we have gauntlets, you already know, side light, D-light. Well, all of that is gone now because he is opting for the orb. So what does he want? He wants a side light, he wants a call out with recovery, if he sets up an edge guard perhaps. Flower, recovery, and light. Whoa.
Ooh, the juggling coming through, and megD just has not thrown out a downer. Ground pound isn't really apt for this moment, so he's certainly not going to throw that out, but he has not thrown out a down air despite being above Flower so often towards the end of this first stock of Flower. Dude, Flower's adding him so much damage, megD has nothing!
Yeah, that is phenomenal extra credit. megD needs to be able to close out this stock ASAP. The sider did not connect. Flower finally going to be getting hit by that recovery because, man, that thing is active. That is a speeding car out of control. And Flower, well, standing in the middle of the highway.
Now, I'm glad you brought up the Wisps earlier and how they've been, like, pretty ineffective for Flower. And if you look at the Wisps, it's like you can have an entire set where the Wisps never hit your opponent, never give you a setup, never make contact whatsoever. He's not even able to do anything off of that. I think he didn't believe it was going to hit because the last one was the one that made contact. But you can never hit it, and they can still be an effective tool. You can miss every single one, and they can still be an effective tool, but that's not the case here. They're not controlling space. They're not forcing megD into situations that Flower can react off of. They just kind of like exist. They can almost be there without a hitbox, and it's just like something visual and a cool effect. And you'd be kind of getting the same thing out of them here for Flower.
That's right. So it's something I'd like to touch on after this game because I have some more thoughts.
Of course.
Insights I'd like to provide on it. But at the moment, Flower's got a lead. Flower's got a lead, and he is continuing to push it. The end light going to be able to actually connect there. Another one, Flower with the jump callouts with all these different neutralities. Amazing. So good.
Yeah,
just
these
moving around
Nair pickups. They've been great.
Oh.
Okay. All right.
What?
He's just going to take that.
megD didn't go anywhere.
He took that just like SpongeBob getting punched by Bubble Bass. Like, it just isn't a problem.
Oh man, this is it. That's right. Brawlhalla dash jump city neutral. How do you punish it? I don't know. Anti-orb, you can go at like a D-light in one of the directions and you have a pretty good chance of being right. You could also just kind of toss out a side light because of how active it is. Flower is probably gonna land on it at some point eventually. So yeah, or just a jump neutrally. So yeah, megD's got to call that out and get Flower to stop moving like that. Yeah.
I want to make a correction. I said SpongeBob getting punched by Bubble Bass, and it's actually not Bubble Bass, it's Flats. That's my mistake.
It's Flats. I see. Okay,
Flats.
very important distinction. Thank you.
Two different guys. Oh, Flower. He's staying glued to the ground. Really not committing whatsoever. There's the side light side air from megD. No downer over the corner.
He's landing slowly. He's being nice and patient. He's backing up a little bit here. The desync, just the very tip of it is going to connect, but Flower was in no position to follow up the preemptive neutral just to potentially swat megD away. He was patient. He avoided the sidelight. There's no punish on it. He whips the Sari that stopped. Sari is going to be able to do it. Flower is now taking us into a 1-1. So the thing I wanted to point about, specifically Yumiko's D6s and how projectiles work and how they should work, is that there's a very awkward middle ground that you have to keep finding of the right spacing to use it. Of course, when you do it too close to your opponent, they're able to react and punish you while you're in all that end lag. Too far away, and the projectiles dissipate before they're able to actually threaten an opponent that's like, looking at the screen and seeing what's going on and knowing how much time they have. It feels like Flower is never in that right amount of like middle ground where he could catch megD potentially jumping into it, where he could still manipulate megD's movement. megD has either been too close, oftentimes, or sometimes too far. So I want to see Flower play at that distance, but Sparky, what is this damage coming out?
Hammer juggling is like potentially some of the most damaging juggling in the entire game. Like getting hit by several neutral airs from a hammer player. Like you're going to be feeling that one in the morning. It's a lot of damage. There's the side air sending over to the edge. Like Flower has not hit megD that many times, all things considered, and he almost has megD in the red. And this is on a higher defense legend.
Stomp, Sari coming through. megD's got to find a way to be able to make it back on. The downer is going to be the tool of choice. Nicely done, fighting his way. And now picking up the orb. Flower not hitting anybody. He wanted a big jump call out. He gets big called out for it. Because look at the punish for megD now. Can he get the stock is the question.
Flower's going to be looking for a weapon. He felt confident enough to go in with the unarmed recovery. There's a sidelight sider from megD. It's from the middle of the stage. Not enough straight to KO there. There's the weapon toss. Perfect spot dodge coming out from megD. There's the recovery reading the other way. Very Raidish move right there. And he's able to get the first stock. The way that Flower...
He's diminished the lead. megD has the lead now.
Exactly. Now, the way it feels like the way that Flower is using Wisp sometimes is it's like when you're peeking a corner in Counter-Strike, but or you're like lazy peeking it, right? So you're going to make the move and turn your camera that way, but you're not actually expecting someone to be there. You're not in the right mindset to actually flick to their head and get the KO in that moment. You're just kind of like, well, I'm supposed to look in that corner because I'm supposed to. Like, that's just, and I'm going to go through the motions here. It feels like Flower is going through the motions a lot of the time. Yeah,
Flower has not been able to get like a tight read on what megD's movement is going to be in response to the D-Sig, right, when it gets tossed out, when the wisps come out. So we'll just have to see. At the moment, though, Flower has evened up the stock count. In fact, has taken another damage lead at the moment here, and is looking to find a way to rack that up. The Sari landing was not going to actually connect there. Tossing out the weapon. Sidelight. Going through the Ensign. megD. Uh-oh. Neutral ground pound. Is this going to be it for Flower's stock?
He wasn't able to throw the weapon toss high enough to actually make contact with megD. megD stayed around. He got a lot of damage in that moment too, but they're pretty even in this moment. That was good from Flower to just kind of hit the unarmed recovery and get out of dodge, but megD still is able to clean up that stock and maintain this lead. He's still not in red yet.
Let's see how Flower is going to be able to do it. Now with, oh my gosh, is it going to be the Ensig? Yes, it will. Beautifully done. All of a sudden, Flower has made this game once again exactly even. This has been probably the most even set that you and I have had the pleasure of seeing so far. These two are so back and forth. You can see why this previously went to a Game 5.
Oh, Flower, really reluctant to commit here. A lot of movement coming out before doing anything, and it was the in-light. There's the neutral air. They're like the two moves we've seen in the past 15, 20 seconds almost.
That's a sign of a good bow play, right? Because you don't get to press anything as bow without getting punished for it if it ends up whiffing. Everything is fairly committal, sidelight and D-light especially. So Flower is threatening on the ground, occasionally mixing in some neutral airs to make megD uncomfortable, like being in that airspace. And that neutral air is, the thing that you can probably get away with whiffing the most often if megD is far away enough. But Flower, these neutral airs are not connecting now.
Oh, the D-light, you're able to cover it with the in-light. It's almost like going sword mode and having that in-light that can still hit stacked as well as megD was coming in for the attack.
Nice double jump call out, beautifully done. Flower just dash jumping again, playing so patient. The in-light whips, backing away again. megD not going to be able to get the punish. megD has not found a clean opening in quite some time. Dude, look at this neutral.
Yeah, megD's just, he's basically got nothing here. It's almost like we're watching Frydazal play Priya the way he was playing yesterday for some of our sets. It's like he was just playing around that top platform. He was playing above his opponent, not really committing down, maybe throwing out a down air or something like that. Getting away from those whips just barely. That one he goes into, and finally, Flower gets the setup that he's been looking for the entire time. Because the other times that the Wisps have actually made contact, it's always been towards like the end stage of them when they're lingering around for the final frames of it, and they make contact, and Flower's like, okay, well, they're not going to hit. Oh, wait, all of a sudden they did hit. I have to find the punish. And then by the time he goes through that like mental decision-making process, it's already too late, and he's not able to find it. Just like Lil Cat back in the day used to throw out D-Light into nothing on Sword and Hammer because he didn't expect the D-Light to hit. And then by the time he recognized that it did make contact, everything was too late.
3,
Okay.
2,
What is
1,
this?
brawl.
Okay,
Lin
so
Fei.
I don't know if this is like a genius 4D chess move from megD, or if this is just like he just wants to play the Lin Fei. But in-game chat before the set started, Flower said, "I'm insecure about my skill after getting reversed by Guichabu, so I'm putting on my title." We don't know who Guichabu was playing because I didn't happen to see the set, but it could have been Lin Fei. I know he's kind of moved away from the Lin Fei lately, but this might be megD trying to put on his Guichabu jacket and like go to work on Flower's mental more than anything else.
We'll have to see. How is megD going to be able to approach the two weapons that threaten with some massive buttons, some big keep away? Okay, the Stomp Sig comes out, the D-Sig into the recovery, and the ground pound. How big is that horizontal hitbox? How big was it? We're going to see a replay of that. Because quite frankly, I don't actually think that ground pound should have connected. Good spacing on Flower's end, but that was kind of messed up that actually hit. That was, I mean, that covered so much.
Unless megD finds something here, especially after that KO, the lead that Flower has, you might be regretting this decision. There's the neutral light. Like he could find a couple like major moves like neutral lights, nair juggle, something like that, and then find like the classic Guichabu option of I'm gonna start throwing out some signatures on Cannon, or even swapping over to Katars and using those signatures as well. Like we could see the stock be lost here shortly, even though Flower's just in the orange. There's the D-Light into the recovery. He felt confident to do that after the dodge was burned.
So it was a true combo. Yeah, the GC came out there. But yeah, megD, he's just been trying to solve this puzzle. The puzzle is, how do you call out Flower's movement? Flower is making the most out of these dashes, out of these dash jumps, out of the random sporadic neutralays that make megD afraid enough to be able to land on top of his opponent.
Oh!
The N-Sig comes out,
Nice!
the weapon toss, he's cooked.
It really feels like Bo, especially from Flower, just has like the perfect options to deal with megD, who's playing like not the most confident guitars in the world here. Another one! But if he wants to come in with the down air, Flower's able to react in time with the neutral light. If he wants to land and do an in light on the guitars, then Flower was right there ready with the side light. So he's just so ready. His reaction times are so good to megD's guitars right now.
Okay, Flower.
Oh, he didn't space it right.
Oh, okay, he wasn't ready for it that time. Flower's like busy moving around so much, he didn't expect megD just to jump into it. Okay, what's it gonna be? He's looking for the side light. The stomp! Oh my god, the side stick is gonna be able to do it! He three-stalked megD! He three-stalked him!
Did the three-stock, and he did it only having to do 484 damage. How much is that? That's like 34 over. So that's like 158 and some change per stock. He gets right past red, and he's finding the KOs. He's using the signature kit. Like, Wisps,
Look at this
like
ground
that's
pound.
one of the...
Look at this ground pound. Look at this ground pound hit.